since 1962, if I'm not wrong.
So King Charles III is officially proclaimed Britain's monarch, and this is a ceremony that is part of ancient tradition. It's filled with political symbolism, like we said, and for the first time since 1952, the event has been broadcast live, and the ceremony was taking place at the St. James's Palace, which is the royal residence in London. It was attended by the Accession Council, senior politicians and officials who advised the UK monarchy, and they met without Charles to proclaim him sovereign. So you just saw those pictures there a few minutes back. This is coming in from London. They have officially confirmed his title as King Charles III before the King Charles joins them to make a series of oath and declaration. And Charles will also be accompanied at the ceremony by his wife, Camilla, who is the Queen Consort, his eldest son, Prince William. Prince William is also now the heir to the throne and known by the title Charles long held, which is the Prince of Wales. And after this ceremony, of course, an official will read out the proclamation, which has just happened. So you're looking at the pictures right now. These are live pictures coming in of him being proclaimed the new king. So that ceremony is on as we speak. We'll take a short break and we'll come back with the live pictures. So you'll see who's who of UK live here as this event continues to officially proclaim him the king of UK's monarchy. Stay tuned.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,600 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
A swarm of drones lit up the night sky over India Gate complex, showcasing the life and legacy of freedom fighter Subhash Chandra Bose and celebrating the newly unveiled grand statue of Netaji. The drones took to air in phases and made 8 different formations. Australian politicians and foreign diplomats laid wreaths to honour Queen Elizabeth II in Canberra. Now, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was joined by the diplomats and other leaders at the ceremony at the Queen's Terrace in the country's parliament.
And I again reiterate on behalf of the people of Australia our sympathy for the royal family, for their personal loss, as well as to the people of the United Kingdom and the people of the Commonwealth in particular, but also the whole world for what is an enormous loss. Queen Elizabeth reigned for 70 years in an era of enormous change. She was a constant, reassuring presence with her compassion, her decency, her commitment to service, which is an absolute inspiration and which King Charles has referred to in his remarks paying tribute to his late mother.
Hundreds of high school students protested in San Diego demanding better facilities for Chilean public schools. Some hooded demonstration threw petrol bombs and clashed with police that dispersed the using crowd.
And visuals coming in right now of King Charles III, who's officially been proclaimed as the UK monarch. You can see there several attendees who have come to attend this big event as King Charles III has officially taken over as the UK monarch. Remember, it's the first time in UK's history that the ceremony is broadcast live. So the first broadcast live to have happened in UK's history of the king or a queen taking over as being proclaimed as the UK monarch. The visuals there live on your screens of Charles III proclaimed as UK's new monarch. This of course comes after Queen Elizabeth II passed away at the age of 96 on Thursday. So a ceremony that is underway to have proclaimed King Charles III as a British monarch. A council of senior politicians and officials have also gathered at St. James Palace in London for this accession ceremony. Niranjan is there with us. Niranjan, if you could talk to us more about how significant it is, given that it's the first time that the ceremony has been held. It's been broadcast live since 1952.
And these are live pictures coming in, live pictures coming in of King Charles III now being proclaimed the king. Just to give you a little bit of an idea about who's here, Charles is being accompanied at the ceremony by his wife Camilla, the Queen Consort, his eldest son Prince William. Prince William is now heir to the throne, and he will be known by the title that Charles was known until recently, which is the Prince of Wales. And after this ceremony, we are told, Samiksha, an official will read the proclamation aloud from a balcony at St. James's Palace in London. It will also be read out in the medieval city of London and at all locations across the UK. So this is, of course, a very old tradition that is being carried out. And 2 days, this is happening 2 days after the 96-year-old Queen Elizabeth II died at the Balmoral Castle in Scotland, following an unprecedented 70 years on the throne. And you're seeing all former UK Prime Ministers there as well. Two former Prime Ministers in the frame that I can see, Tony Blair, Boris Johnson, and a host of political leaders in the UK, ministers, former ministers, prime ministers, former prime ministers, they're all here, along with people who've come in the thousands to pay their respects outside the palaces. And just to give you an idea, in this particular ceremony, this is King Charles, who has now officially been announced as Britain's monarch. This is a very ancient tradition in the UK, and just to reiterate, it's also the first time in UK's history that it's been broadcast live. So Charles has automatically now become the king. So I'm just trying to get details of that. If you can just take it over for a few seconds.
Yes. Well, that's right. So the visuals there live on your screens of King Charles III, who's been officially proclaimed as the UK monarch. Remember, this comes after Queen Elizabeth II breathed her last on Thursday, she died at the age of 96 years. It's the first time the accession ceremony is taking place since 1952. Charles there, who has now become the king when the Queen breathed her last on Thursday. The accession ceremony, remember, is a constitutional and ceremonial step in introducing the new monarch to the country. The visuals on your screens, in which you can see several dignitaries, including the likes of the former Prime Ministers of UK. We can see Boris Johnson there as well. So King Charles III, who has now been officially proclaimed as Britain's monarch in a ceremony that is steeped in ancient tradition and political symbolism as well, and for the first time broadcast live since 1952. What it essentially means that this accession ceremony, which is taking place, is a key constitutional and ceremonial step in introducing the new monarch to the country of Britain. The ceremony, which is taking place at St. James Palace, which is a royal residence in London, is attended by the Accession Council, senior politicians and officials who will advise the new monarch. They will meet without Charles to proclaim him sovereign, officially confirming his title, Charles III. Niranjan is back with us. Niranjan, over to you. We can see the UK Prime Minister there as well. Take it away.
Yes, live pictures now coming in. I think you just saw Liz Truss there. Liz Truss, the new UK Prime Minister, who's just entered that room where, you see the family members of King Charles III entering that hall. Let's see if we can cut across live to the feed and the audio beaming live from London.
Business for part 2 of the Council. Your Majesty, to make your declaration.
My lords, ladies and gentlemen, it is my most sorrowful duty to announce to you the death of my beloved mother, the Queen. I know how deeply you, the entire nation, and I think I may say the whole world, sympathize with me in the irreparable loss we've all suffered. It is the greatest consolation to me to know of the sympathy expressed by so many to my sister and brothers, and that such overwhelming affection and support should be extended to our whole family in our loss. To all of us as a family, as to this kingdom and the wider family of nations of which it is a part, my mother gave an example of lifelong love and of selfless service. My mother's reign was unequaled in its duration, its dedication and its devotion. Even as we grieve, we give thanks for this most faithful life. I am deeply aware of this great inheritance and of the duties and heavy responsibilities of sovereignty which have now passed to me. In taking up these responsibilities, I shall strive to follow the inspiring example I have been set in upholding constitutional government and to seek the peace, harmony and prosperity of the peoples of these islands and of the Commonwealth realms and territories throughout the world. In this purpose, I know that I shall be upheld by the affection and loyalty of the peoples whose sovereign I have been called upon to be, and that in the discharge of these duties, I will be guided by the counsel of their elected parliaments. In all this, I am profoundly encouraged by the constant support of my beloved wife. I take this opportunity to confirm my willingness and intention to continue the tradition of surrendering the hereditary revenues, including the Crown Estate, to my government for the benefit of all, in return for the sovereign grant which supports my official duties as head of state and head of nation. And in carrying out the heavy task that has been laid upon me, and to which I now dedicate what remains to me of my life, I pray for the guidance and help of Almighty God.
I have with humble duty to crave your Majesty's permission for the publication of your gracious speech.
Approved.
Concerning the security of the Church of Scotland.
I understand that the law requires that I should, at my accession to the Crown, take and subscribe the oath relating to the security of the Church of Scotland. I am ready to do so at this first opportunity. I, Charles III, by the grace of God of the United Kingdom of Great Britain and Northern Ireland, and of my other realms and territories, King, Defender of the Faith, do faithfully promise and swear that I shall inviolably maintain and preserve the settlement of the true Protestant religion as established by the laws made in Scotland in prosecution of the claim of right, and particularly by an act intituled An Act for Securing the Protestant Religion and Presbyterian Church Government, and by the acts passed in the Parliament of both kingdoms for union of the two kingdoms, together with the government, worship, discipline, rights and privileges of the Church of Scotland. So help me God.
I now invite your Majesty to subscribe both copies of the instrument, confirming the oath has been taken. I now invite the witnesses to His Majesty's oath to sign both copies of the instrument. Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's declaration to be made public.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council for recording the oath relating to the security of the Church of Scotland, to be transmitted to the Court of Session, to be recorded in the books of Sederant, and afterwards lodged in the State Papers of Scotland and in the Council Register.
Approved.
Draft order in Council determining the form of proclamation for proclaiming Your Majesty in the realms and in the British Overseas Territories.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising the Lord Chancellor to make use of the Great Seal for sealing all things whatsoever that pass the Great Seal, until another Great Seal be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising the Lord Privy Seal, if need be, to make use of the existing Privy Seal until another Privy Seal is prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Drafts of 3 orders in Council authorising Your Majesty's Principal Secretaries of State, the Lord Chancellor of the Exchequer and the Chancellor of the Duchy of Lancaster, to use the existing seals until other seals be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's Secretary of State for Northern Ireland to make use of the existing Great Seal of Northern Ireland until another seal be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's First Minister of Scotland to make use of the Great Seal of Scotland until another Great Seal of Scotland be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising Your Majesty's First Minister of Wales to make use of the existing Welsh Seal until another Welsh Seal be prepared and authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council authorising the public seals authorising the respective public seals lately in use elsewhere than in the United Kingdom to be made use of until new seals be prepared and their use duly authorised.
Approved.
Draft of an order in Council confirming Your Majesty's wishes in relation to the Sovereign Grant Act 2011 to continue the tradition of surrendering the hereditary revenues, including the Crown Estate, to your government for the benefit of all, in return for the sovereign grant, which supports your official duties as head of state and head of nation.
Approved.
Drafts of 2 proclamations. 1. Appointing the day of Her late Majesty's state funeral as a bank holiday in England, Wales and Northern Ireland. 2. Appointing the day of Her late Majesty's state funeral as a bank holiday in Scotland. And of 2 orders in Council directing the Lord Chancellor to affix the Great Seal to the proclamations.
Approved.
I now invite Your Majesty to sign both proclamations. And that, Your Majesty, concludes today's business for the Council. May I now invite the deputation party and the witnesses to the oath to exit via the picture gallery and the matted hall. I now ask Privy Councillors present to exit via the picture gallery and the matted hall and invite you to sign the proclamation, which is laid out in the lower corridor. Thank you all for attending today.
viewers, King Charles III has formally been proclaimed at this ornate and solemn ceremony in London at the St. James's Palace. Alongside him also were Queen Consort Camilla and the new Prince of Wales and heir apparent to the UK throne, that is William, Prince of Wales. We also saw a number of former Prime Ministers of the United Kingdom there. There was Boris Johnson, Theresa May, David Cameron, Tony Blair, and also the new Prime Minister Liz Truss, all of them who had been invited to form governments by Queen Elizabeth II, who passed away. She had invited in such a manner 15 different Prime Ministers, starting with Winston Churchill and finally with Liz Truss just 2 days before she died. The King Charles III era has begun in the UK. And viewers, it's time now, after the UK has sworn in a new king, to begin with Superfast 50 and bring you the biggest stories around the world today. Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, who is on a 150-day-long Bharat Jodo Yatra, met a controversial Catholic priest, George Ponea, in Kanyakumari district of Tamil Nadu. A video clip of Rahul Gandhi's interaction with the pastor went viral, in which the priest can be heard saying Jesus Christ is the real God, and Rahul is having a theosophical discussion with him. The BJP has hit out at the Congress over Rahul Gandhi's meeting with the communal preacher George Ponea. BJP calls this Congress's Bharat Todo and not Bharat Jodo attempt.
Tomorrow can potentially meet anybody from the Tukde lobby and take his support or her support without verifying. So will they tomorrow even go and meet some terrorists? Who knows? They are already eulogizing terrorists in other parts of the country. But if they knew and they still met, because Pawan Kheda has said that we were having an open dialogue on interfaith dialogue. So they are having interfaith dialogue with somebody who abuses and threatens Hindus, somebody who says that Hindus should not exist, somebody who is saying that Bharat Mata is infected with disease. These are the people with which Congress party wants to dialogue and make them a part of Bharat Jodo. This is not Bharat Jodo, this is Bharat Ko Todo.
As a massive controversy erupts over Rahul Gandhi's meeting with the controversial preacher, the Vadra Congress has in turn defended the meeting and attacked the BJP in turn.
Dialogue and debate have been an essential part of Indian civilization, especially the Sanatan Parampara. Talks a lot about the dialogues between Adi Shankaracharya and people of different streams of thought. If you remember, when we were growing up, we read the story of Angulimal's dialogue with Gautam Buddha. These are very enriching dialogues. Why does the BJP believe in conflict and only conflict and no discussion, no dialogue? That is the difference between BJP and Congress. We believe in interactions. We believe in listening to everyone.
The BJP, continuing its attack on Rahul Gandhi over his meeting with the controversial preacher, asked via its spokesperson Sambit Patra whether the Congress only goes to temples during elections.
पहले भी ऐसे कई मौके आए हैं जिन मौकों पर कांग्रेस पार्टी, सोनिया जी और राहुल जी ने हिंदू धर्म के खिलाफ एक तरह से अशोभनीय बातों को बोला है, चाहे वो भगवान राम के विषय में सबूत मांगने की बात हो, भगवान राम को नकारने का विषय हो या आज मां शक्ति का विषय हो। कहीं ना कहीं राहुल गांधी और चुनाव ठीक उसी समय उनको मंदिर मंदिर जाना होता है और एक स्वांग रचना होता है।
Soon after the video of Rahul Gandhi meeting controversial Tamil pastor George Ponea went viral, the Congress hit out at the BJP, alleging that the ruling party at the centre has been spreading lies, adding that it is typical mischief of the party and it's an attempt to damage the spirit of the Bharat Jodo Yatra.
It's a completely bogus video. What was said in the conversation has nothing to do with the text of the tweet. We have issued the full text of what was said. It is typical mischievous lies being spread by the BJP to damage the spirit of the Bharat Jodo Yatra. We are trying to unite people. We are trying to bring people together because India is being broken.
After minor Ankita was charged to death in Dumka, a man was set ablaze in Garhwa district of Jharkhand as well. Following the incident, the BJP has hit out questioning the law and order situation in the state. In a major update in a mobile app fraud case, the ED has recovered over 5 crore rupees in searches that were carried out outside Kolkata city limits. The cash was taken away in large boxes. King Charles III has officially been proclaimed as the new monarch of the United Kingdom at a ceremony at St. James's Palace in London. The second proclamation will also be read out 1 hour later at the Royal Exchange in the City of London, while separate proclamations will be read at noon on Sunday in Scotland, Wales and the Northern Ireland. Members of the royal family and several other former British Prime Ministers were also present. Mumbai police sources have informed that a complaint letter written by Jazil Naurange about being threatened by the underworld for a pakka grave for Yaqub Memon was received in 2020. However, neither was any FIR filed nor any action initiated. It will now be probed on what grounds was the investigation stopped in 2020. Hundreds of crores were rolled out, but a flurry of negative reviews have swamped the movie Brahmastra. Despite the massive hype and mega promotions, reviewers have called out the film for lack of a plot in the latest Bollywood movie to run afoul of critics in this manner. Hitting back at the BJP over its T-shirt jibe at Rahul Gandhi, Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel said the Congress is engaged in uniting the country, while the ruling party BJP is still entrapped in T-shirt and khaki shorts. An incident of stabbing was reported in Mangolpuri, New Delhi. A man was stabbed to death and 4 others were injured in 2 related attacks. The man was taken to SGM hospital after sustaining stab injuries, where doctors declared him brought dead. Home Minister Amit Shah is set to address a national level meeting of the BJP OBC Morcha in Jodhpur. Shah will also interact with BSF officials at the South Sector headquarters in Jaisalmer and spend the night at the BSF Officers Institute. Amid the ongoing probe in the Sonali Phogat death case, the police confirmed that the case was being reviewed at senior levels and said that the charge sheet will be filed on objective grounds. The developments come against the backdrop of Phogat's family demanding a CBI probe. In a major development in the Dumka immolation murder case, a charge sheet has been filed in a special court. An FIR has also been registered against Salman, the brother of main accused Shah Rukh Hussain, for threatening the victim's family members. A list of 25 witnesses has been included in the charge sheet of more than 100 pages. Indian Army Chief General Manoj Pandey is scheduled to visit Ladakh amid the ongoing disengagement process between India and China at the Gogra Hot Springs area on the line of actual control. A military station on the banks of Lohit Valley along the line of actual control with China and a key road in this mountain hamlet have been named after India's first Chief of Defence Staff General Bipin Rawat around 9 months after he died in a tragic helicopter crash. With the aim to facilitate an ecosystem of technology and innovation, Prime Minister Modi inaugurated the Centre State Science Conclave via video conferencing in Ahmedabad. The first of its kind conclave will strengthen the Centre State coordination and collaboration mechanism in the spirit of cooperative federalism to build a robust science, technology and innovation ecosystem, he said. China has refused to comment on a possible meeting between PM Modi and China's President Xi Jinping on the sidelines of the upcoming SCO summit in Uzbekistan next week, but said that the disengagement of troops in the Gogra Hot Springs area of eastern Ladakh was a positive development. Months after a deputy superintendent of police was killed, the mining mafia once again attacked a joint team of the police and local mining department and the regional transport authority during a raid at an illegal mining site at the Nuh district of Haryana. The team was allegedly attacked by unidentified people during a raid at an illegal mining site in Nuh. Union Home Minister Amit Shah laid the foundation stone of the Tanot Temple Complex project under the Border Tourism Development Program by the Ministry of Tourism in Jaisalmer. The Home Minister laid a wreath at the Tanot Vijay Stambh in Jaisalmer and offered prayers at the Tanot Rai Mata Temple as well. Karnataka BJP has rebranded Janotsav as Janaspandana and Union Minister Smriti Irani will attend the event. The event was first scheduled on July 28 but had to be postponed due to the death of BJP Yuva Morcha member Praveen Nettaru in Dakshina Kannada. The Congress will hold an election to pick its next president on October 17th, and Congress leader Rahul Gandhi has said that he has made a decision whether he will contest the polls for the party's presidential post, and he has said that he will speak about it, however, only when the polls are held. 5 Congress MPs have written to AICC Central Election Authority Chief Madhusudan Mistry expressing concern about the transparency and fairness of the poll process to elect the party chief, seeking that the PCC electoral roll should be secured and they would be provided to electors and potential candidates as well. Chhattisgarh Chief Minister Bhupesh Baghel inaugurated the newly formed district Sakti and Mahendragarh Chirmiri Bharatpur districts as well. Sakti is the 33rd district of Chhattisgarh state, which has been carved out of the Jangir Champa district. After inaugurating Sakti district, Baghel performed Bhumi Pujan of various development projects worth more than 153 crore rupees. Bhupesh Baghel also slammed the BJP and said that its chief JP Nadda was visiting Chhattisgarh to study the development model of the Congress government in the state. Lauding the nation's exceptional nature of human resources, Vice President Jagdeep Dhankar expressed happiness and said that Indians are now widely recognized, mentioning that many of the change makers honored come from ordinary backgrounds. He wanted such extraordinary tales of human resource to be recognized and brought to the center stage. In a tragic incident, 4 boys lost their lives during the Ganesh idol immersion in Mahendragarh region of Haryana. Over 20 people had gone for the immersion near a canal in the Jagadoli village. According to officials, 4 other boys have been rescued from the spot. The roof of the amphitheatre structure in Ranma Lake premises collapsed due to reverse wind pressure and heavy rain in Gujarat. No casualties have been reported. However, rescue operations are still underway and further details are awaited. An Indian-origin American citizen confronted the Pakistani ambassador in Washington on kidnapping and conversion of Hindu girls and the attacks on minorities in Pakistan in recent times in an altercation that was captured on camera.
Justice for women who are feeling raped and brutally killed and forced into conversions. And also, I'm representing the armed forces women of United States whose soldiers and their sons have been killed due to Taliban. Would you please?
Yes, are you from Pakistan?
Former RJD MLC Anwar Ali and his son were detained by the police of Pitbarhor police station after some suspicious youth were detained by the police on roadside near Patna market. The former MLC and his son reached the police station to rescue the youth. The father and son were caught by the police on charges of obstructing government work. 2 coaches of an empty freight train overturned at Birbhum's Nathali railway station. The incident took place on the Rampurhat Azimganj railway line. For the moment, however, there is no obstacle to train movement there, we are told. In a tragic incident, a car with 3 local residents fell into a gorge near Nigulsari on NH5. 2 people's mortal remains were retrieved yesterday from the accident site from a 300-meter deep gorge after 5 hours of efforts by Himveers and the 43rd Battalion of the ITBP at Jewari. The BJP announced Biplab Deb as the party's candidate for the upcoming Rajya Sabha by-polls from Tripura. The announcement came hours after the former Tripura CM was made Haryana state in charge by the Saffron Party. A film set for OTT's The Crown was seen being taken down in Barcelona following the decision by producers to suspend production after the death of Queen Elizabeth II. Media reports claim scenes featuring the death of Diana, Princess of Wales, were scheduled to be filmed there. Australian politicians and foreign diplomats laid wreaths to honour Queen Elizabeth II in Canberra. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was joined by diplomats and other leaders at a ceremony at the Queen's Terrace in the country's parliament.
Reiterate on behalf of the people of Australia our sympathy for the royal family, for their personal loss, as well as to the people of the United Kingdom and the people of the Commonwealth in particular, but also the whole.
Floral tributes for Queen Elizabeth were left outside Balmoral Castle in Scotland as people paid their respects on Friday at the location where she breathed her last. This comes as the world mourns the Queen's demise. A passenger train and a freight train collided in central Croatia, killing 3 people. According to the police, the collision happened near the town of Novska, which is close to Croatia's border with Bosnia. Croatian Prime Minister said that 11 injured people had been taken to local hospitals and there would be an investigation into the cause of the crash. Hundreds of high school students protested in Santiago demanding better facilities for Chilean public schools. Some hooded demonstrators threw petrol bombs and clashed with police, which dispersed the crowd using water cannons. People in Belmopan spoke of their expectations of the relations between the UK and Belize, a Commonwealth member, after the passing of Queen Elizabeth. Some extended their condolences to the royal family, while others voiced concerns about the future monarch, their preferred members of the royal family, and the line of succession as well.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,600 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
King Charles III, who is set to take over as a new monarch of UK, vowed in his first speech as monarch to carry on Queen Elizabeth II's lifelong service with his own modernizing stamp.
Any family could owe to their mother. We speak to you today with feelings of profound sorrow. Throughout her life, Her Majesty the Queen, my beloved mother, was an inspiration, an example to me and to all my family. And we owe her the most heartfelt debt any family could owe to their mother, for her love, affection, guidance, understanding, and example. Queen Elizabeth was a life well lived, a promise with destiny kept, and she is mourned most deeply in her passing. That promise of lifelong service I renew to you all today.
Here's what's making news across the globe. A passenger train and freight train collided in central Croatia, killing 3 people. According to the police, the collision happened near the town of Novska, which is close to Croatia's border with Bosnia. Croatian Prime Minister said that 11 injured people had been taken to local hospitals and there would be an investigation into the cause of the crash. Australian politicians and foreign diplomats laid wreaths to honour Queen Elizabeth II in Canberra. Now, Prime Minister Anthony Albanese was joined by the diplomats and other leaders at the ceremony at the Queen's Terrace in the country's parliament.
And I again reiterate on behalf of the people of Australia our sympathy for the royal family, for their personal loss, as well as to the people of the United Kingdom.
And at fire has broken out. They are yet to confirm whether this is a residential structure or an office building, but this is in Prabha Devi, where you see how it is very densely populated and not much gap between the structures really. A massive fire that has broken out and several fire tenders that have rushed to the spot in Prabha Devi, which happens to be one of the high-end residential areas in Mumbai. In South Bombay, you see a huge fire has broken out yet again in Prabha Devi, and it could well be a residential structure. We are awaiting details on the extent of damage and hoping no lives are lost, but the rescue operations that are underway and the fire tenders that are trying to douse off that fire. This particular visual that has been captured from a point where there are also some chawls, and these are live pictures coming in from Prabha Devi in Mumbai, where a massive fire has broken out, and you see those fire personnel who are trying to douse off that fire. Water cannons are being used to douse off that fire. Several firefighters that are on the spot right now. Abhishek Datta is joining us on the phone line. Abhishek, what more can you tell us? Is it a residential structure? Do we know the cause of the fire? And most importantly, are those who were in the building, have they been evacuated? Hopefully everyone is safe. There are no casualties. What more can you tell us? We may have lost that line with us. But you see those pictures on your screens right now, a huge cloud of smoke that is visible in the skies of Prabha Devi. And this could well be a residential structure, but most importantly, we are trying to find out more details, hopefully, of if that is, then the residents have been evacuated out and hopefully there are no casualties. Yet another fire that has broken out in Prabha Devi in Mumbai, where we have seen such incidents even in the past. And although there have been strict norms when it comes to following fire safety, but this is a fire that has broken out in Prabha Devi, where there are also several buildings that are under construction, residential structures that are under construction that surround the very building where the fire has broken out. And the camera is trying to capture the extent of damage, but obviously the area has been cordoned off, barricaded, and the fire personnel who are trying to douse off that fire. We're awaiting more details on whether the cause of the fire is known, when the fire had broken out, how long did it take for the fire personnel to rush to the spot, how many fire tenders are there at the spot right now, and hoping that there are no casualties that have been reported, but fire personnel who are using water cannons to douse off that fire. A huge cloud of smoke that is visible in the skies of South Mumbai. It is in Prabha Devi where this fire has broken out. Very, very densely populated, one of the prime areas in Mumbai, even when it comes to rentals and the kind of real estate market that it is. But we do understand that this particular building where the fire has broken out, there are also some structures surrounding it which are under construction. Niranjan is with me on the phone line. Niranjan, what more can you tell us? Hopefully everyone is safe and those who may have been in the building have been evacuated. All right, we are...
Swesha, can you hear me? Swesha, can you hear me?
With our colleagues who are trying to gather more details on the ground. Yes, I can, Niranjan. Please go ahead. I can.
Yeah, Swesha, these are live pictures coming in from Mumbai. Live pictures. We'll just remove the voice off. I just want to stay with the pictures full frame. Stay with the pictures full frame from Mumbai right now. These are pictures of the fire being reported in Prabha Devi in Mumbai. And our colleague Abhishek is reporting live from there. He's giving us a live shot as well, so we'll take the live shot. We'll take the live shot the moment we have it. And we are told that this blaze was, yeah, that's a live shot. Let's go full frame to the pictures. Let's go full frame to the pictures. These are full frame visuals that are coming in of the firefighters trying to battle the blaze. It's a live picture. It's a live shot. And these are live pictures coming in, and we are trying to get more details of the damage here. But from the initial details that we have, at least 10 to 15 firefighters and a firefighting team is present on the site, are trying to contain the fire, which seems more or less under control now. And we are waiting for an official word from them. So these are hazy pictures from Mumbai. This is right in the heart of the commercial district in Mumbai in Prabha Devi. And you saw the pictures from earlier. We saw the pictures from earlier as well. So we'll show you the live picture, live shot, and also the earlier shot in two windows so that we can show you what the situation was like a few minutes back when we began the broadcast. A massive blaze was witnessed, and that blaze was seen from a distance because this is the business district, and in the business district, yeah, that was. These are earlier and live. Earlier and live. On the left of your screen is earlier, and on the right side of your screen is the live shot. So on the left side you can see that that blaze was seen from a distance, and on the right these are live pictures of firefighters trying to contain the blaze. And we are waiting for an update from the firefighting team in Mumbai to tell us what the situation is. We don't know whether there were people who were perhaps stranded here, whether they were evacuated in time. These are details that we are waiting to get from the firefighting team in Mumbai, and we should be able to get some official details in a short while from now. But from the initial details available, what we can tell you is that the fire, the blaze that was reported, is more or less under control, and this is from Prabhadevi in Mumbai, and this is the business district. A lot of apartments, residential apartments, are also located here, so you can see that the fire and the smoke that you see here, the inferno, was right next to a residential complex, and many temporary homes also were perhaps gutted, is what we are hearing. Some of these establishments were being used as go-downs in the commercial district, and in these videos you can see that the firefighters are trying to put out the blaze. There are at least 10 to 15 of them present on location. There is a fire brigade in Prabhadevi itself, which is also one of the reasons why the police, the fire brigade was able to reach there on time. They've reached there on time, and we should be able to get the reporters on location anytime now. So that's a live shot. Abhishek is there, my colleague. He's unable to speak there because of the entire scenario there. We should be able to get a live report from the field in a few minutes from now. So you can see that there's a go down here. The firefighters are trying to put out the blaze from the go down. They're trying to sprinkle to try and douse the fires and the flames, and we should be able to get more details and an official word on the grade of the fire, which is something we don't have right now. So as of this minute, no official word from the fire department. The fire department, four fire brigade vehicles, we are told, are there. So we are told that two fire tenders, between 2 to 4 fire tenders, we are told, are there. So we are waiting for an official word, and we should be able to get those are the fire officials. They're trying to put out the blaze inside what seems like a store or a go down in central Mumbai, in the heart of Mumbai. This is Prabhadevi, and in Prabhadevi, that's the fire brigade trying to douse the flames after the massive inferno that was reported. And this is in South Mumbai. In South Mumbai's Prabhadevi, and we are still waiting for an official word on the details of this fire. A blaze that was reported earlier today, and in this blaze we are waiting for details of they're trying to open that go down there. You will see on the right of your screens, on one side, the fire brigade officials are trying to pump in the water in what seems like a commercial go down, and they're trying to douse the flames here. And on the right of the screens, you will also see, if you can go full frame to the pictures, full frame to the live pictures, you can also see that the firefighters are trying to open the doors of the go down. They're trying their best to open the doors of the go down, and they should be able to do that in a short while from now. You can see that they're trying to open up the doors, and they seem to be struggling to open it as the doors of the godown are locked. And that's a live shot. In fact, we should be able to get another live shot in a few minutes from now. So, tracking the story live from India's financial capital, Republic TV is the only channel live from the location, and we are still waiting for an official word, because until now we don't have details on how many fire engines were rushed. Between 2 to 4 fire engines, we are told, were rushed to the location, and struggling to contain the damage inside the godown. You can see the flames and the smoke emanating from the doors of this godown, some of which are continue to be locked. We don't know whether there were people inside. What we can tell you though is the firefighters have been able to contain the blaze itself. And we have a second feed. We have a second live feed now, and we are going across to the second live feed. Yes, that's the second live feed that we have now, and that's from the location. And we are trying to get across to our colleague Abhishek, who's live there, and Abhishek is there on the location, and that's a BEST substation which has been gutted. We are told we should be able to get more details in a short while from now, and Abhishek is there, my colleague. Abhishek should be able to give us more details. Abhishek is live. Let me see if I can go across to him. Abhishek, can you hear me, Abhishek? Abhishek, can you hear me? Okay, in about 30 seconds more, we should be able to get details of the fire. Okay, we have some more details right now. Alisha is sharing some details. So I'm going across to Alisha as well to get the details of this fire. Alisha is reporting that the fire was reported at the BEST's substation. This is the BEST substation near the Savna office in Prabhadevi. We are told where 4 fire tenders are live, and Alisha is also joining us with the details. Along with Alisha, we also have our colleague Abhishek. Abhishek is on the phone line. We'll go across to him. Abhishek, what can you tell us? You're live on the location. Abhishek, can you hear me? Abhishek? Abhishek, can you hear me? Abhishek, can you hear me? Abhishek, go ahead. Tell us, Abhishek. Two fire tenders are on the location. This is the BEST substation, we are told. BEST substation, and we'll try and go across to Abhishek on the phone line. He's at the location, and at least 15 to 20 fire tenders right now on location, and at this substation, trying to gather more details of the damage that was caused due to the blaze. We should be able to get more details in a short while from now. Abhishek, can you hear me? If you can hear me, Abhishek, what more can you tell us about this fire? Okay, I'll try and get Alisha on the phone line. Alisha will also have details of this fire. This is from the Central Business District in Mumbai, in Prabhadevi, which is in the heart of Mumbai. And Republic TV is reporting live for the last 15 to 20 minutes. We've been live from the location. This is Mumbai's Prabhadevi area, where a BEST substation has caught fire, and we should be able to get more details. Okay, we'll take a short break at this point, and we'll come back in just a few minutes as we try to gather more details. As of this minute, 15 to 20 minutes into the story, we don't have an official word from the police, police or the fire brigade. Fire officials not giving out much details of the kind of damage that we are seeing. These are live pictures. The blaze that we saw earlier at this location indicated that the fire was raging through an entire set of houses. So we'll show you the earlier and live pictures. Abhishek is live with me now, so let me try and go across to him. Abhishek, can you hear me, Abhishek?
Yes, Niranjan, I can hear you.
Yes, please tell us what you see there and for how long have the fire brigade officials been there trying to contain the blaze?
So, it's like more than 40 minutes. The fire brigade has reached here. At least five fire engines are here, and like it's a substation. It's a substation-based substation, and from where that girls are coming out. So yeah, the live pictures are on screen. So more than 50 firefighters are here. So still firefighting operations are underway. Five fire engines.
Abhishek, why don't you come? Can you hear me? Why don't you come in front of the cameras and report? We can see you there.
Yeah.
I request you to come in front of the cameras and also report and tell us what you see there. Abhishek is on the location, so the fire brigade is trying to enter the BEST substation, and we should be able to get more details. Abhishek, do we know whether the people were inside?
No, Niranjan, the people are not inside. It's a substation go down. So, but I can see blaze are still inside. It's not completely under control right now. But firefighters are trying to go inside. They have opened one gate and two more gates that they're trying to open. Shutters have not opened yet, but one small gate has been opened and firefighters are trying to go inside. But inside, blazes are still on. Still, we can see fire blazes are coming out from inside. So it's not completely under control yet. Firefighters are still trying. It's more than 50 firefighters are here. They're trying to control the fire, and more than five fire engines are here. Still they're trying to. They have opened only one door. Only one door has been opened. Two iron shutters are still not open. They're trying to open the second one so that more firefighters go inside and take control of the fire. But yeah, only one small door has been opened so that inside 2 or 3 firefighters has gone inside. They're trying to control the fire, but completely orange flames are coming out from the BEST substation. They are trying to break the second shutter right now. I would like to request my video to show the shot how the firefighters are trying to break the second shutter. One small door has been opened, but the second shutter they're trying to open right now. So they're trying to break actually so that more fire.
Abhishek, you stay with me. I'll take a short break right now. You stay on location. What we will do, Abhishek, we'll get you live in front of the camera. We can see you there in front of the camera. We'll get you live in just a minute. That's the firefighting operations live from Mumbai, and Republic TV is the only channel live, in fact, from the location. Abhishek will be live when we come out from the break. Stay tuned.
Amity faculty have filed over 1,600 patents. Yet another reason why Amity has been conferred with the National Intellectual Property Award by Government of India for being the top Indian academic institution for patents and commercialization.
Is scheduled to visit Ladakh amid the ongoing disengagement process between India and China.